the sidewalk now. Go to the sidewalk now. You want to go with him? Go to the sidewalk now. Okay.
Alright, so the internet really lost its mind for a solid 24 hours because people were convinced this was finally the moment Jack Doherty was going to face real consequences. The reactions were wild. People were celebrating like the judge had just sentenced him to life and tossed the key into the ocean. A lot of folks genuinely want to see Jack sit in jail for longer than a few minutes, thinking maybe that would finally humble him a bit. But let's be real, he's not locked up forever. In fact, he was already out. He posted bond and walked straight back into freedom. And honestly, that's where the irony kicks in. Everyone was so busy cheering and popping virtual champagne that almost nobody bothered to actually read what the charges were or what they could turn into. Because depending on how this case unfolds, this situation could end up being way more serious for him down the line. We're talking potentially years more serious, up to 7 years, if everything sticks and stacks the wrong way. So here's what actually went down. Jack got arrested in Miami on multiple charges: drug possession, resisting an officer, causing a disturbance in public, basically the full circus. According to reports, police told him to move onto the sidewalk, and instead of just complying, he decided to escalate things. He allegedly started acting reckless, loud, and confrontational, even going as far as trying to challenge officers like it was some kind of duel, right there in the middle of Miami, all while filming content. When detectives searched him, things got even worse. They reportedly found half of an orange pill with the number 3 stamped on it, which officers said matched a Schedule II anesthetic. On top of that, they discovered a black container holding 3 hand-rolled marijuana joints. So while Jack was busy arguing with police and putting on a show for the camera, officers were literally uncovering the reason he was acting so out of pocket in the first place. That's the part people glossed over. The arrest itself became a meme, but the details? Those are what could come back to bite him hard later. Everyone laughed, celebrated, and moved on. But this situation isn't as small or as harmless as people want to believe. Depending on how the legal process plays out, this might not be a quick slap on the wrist at all.
Chill. Go to the sidewalk now. Go to the sidewalk now. You want to go with him? You're funny. Go to the sidewalk now.
Even the Miami Beach commissioner couldn't help but jump into the mess and straight up clown him, basically labeling him a professional instigator and making it clear that Miami isn't about to entertain that kind of behavior for content. The message was pretty blunt. This city isn't your playground, and that goofy internet nonsense isn't welcome here. Then, fast forward literally 1 day later, and the whole tone flips. Jack Doherty pays the $3,500 bond, flashes a grin at the news cameras like it's a photo op, and walks right out. No shame, no humility. Within hours, he's back on TikTok acting like nothing happened, giving people advice about staying out of jail. And that's the wild part. He's talking like some seasoned ex-con dropping wisdom, when in reality he was locked up for what felt like a coffee break. 5 minutes in a holding cell, and suddenly he's preaching life lessons. The whole thing just perfectly sums him up. Get arrested, get roasted by city officials, bond out immediately, and then turn the entire situation into content like it was all just another stunt.
Just got out of jail, guys, and I'm about to take my first shower since getting out. Jail is so freaking dirty, and I didn't want to take a shower in there, so I'm just grateful to be back in my crib.
And while he's out here moving like he just survived a full-blown prison documentary, the clips circulating online show exactly why nobody was surprised he got arrested in the first place. The dual challenge, the screaming at officers, refusing to move when told. He didn't just stumble into handcuffs. He practically asked for them. The footage makes it obvious this wasn't some misunderstanding. It was chaos that he created himself, on camera, like everything else he does. But here's the part people keep glossing over. The charges he caught in Miami? Those are not light. Jack walked away with 1 felony and 2 misdemeanors. And under Florida law, that felony alone can carry up to 5 years in prison, with the misdemeanors stacking on another 2. So in a worst-case scenario, he could technically be staring down 7 years behind bars. Now sure, he's currently out on bond and acting like the whole thing is a joke, like nothing serious is coming his way. But the internet is absolutely running with that number. Because let's be honest, imagining Jack Doherty, a guy who can't stay quiet or out of trouble for more than 2 minutes, being locked up for years? That idea alone sounds unreal. It's almost comedic, and that's why people can't stop talking about it. But the bigger question is this: why were people celebrating like this was the moment they'd been waiting for? And the answer is simple. The arrest wasn't the real reason, it was just the breaking point. Everything Jack has been doing over the past several months has been stacking up, and people finally snapped. And the first thing that always comes up is how he treated McKinley Richardson. Because this wasn't just some random girlfriend drama. He literally married her on a live stream in Las Vegas. A live stream. And during the ceremony, in front of her own father, he brought up a prenup. Not privately, not respectfully, publicly. The vows reportedly included language saying she would get nothing in a divorce, and that he would own 100% of her OnlyFans earnings. Her father was said to be in tears afterward. That moment alone had the internet ready to cancel him permanently. Then things got even worse. McKinley later came forward and claimed that Jack pressured her into doing OnlyFans in the first place. According to her, he told her that if she didn't do it, he would leave her. And it didn't stop there. She said he wasn't just supporting it, he controlled the money, all of it. She also accused him of mixing business with their relationship and using her as a tool to boost his own views and engagement.
But the relationship was real.
The relationship was real. We were talking for 6 months before I even showed my face on camera, and I didn't have an OnlyFans or anything. I actually didn't want to do it. I was so against it. It was against everything that I was, raised with, and it just really bothered me, but he told me he'd send me back home if I did it, so I did it.
No.
Yeah, and that's when things crossed from internet drama into something way more serious. It got so bad that McKinley Richardson reportedly had to call the police just to safely retrieve her belongings from his house. Not to argue, not to make content, just to get her own stuff and leave without the situation escalating.
You got to get out of my house. I didn't let you. I didn't say you can come in.
She's letting us in.
She doesn't own this house. I didn't say you can come in my house.
Her address is
I don't
on
care.
here. She's a resident here.
I don't care. You guys aren't allowed in my house.
We're not here to have a hard
You guys aren't
time.
allowed in my house.
And that's just one situation. There's a lot more, like way more. For example, there was another incident where Jack Doherty literally took off sprinting behind his security after a group of guys tried to jump him at the beach. And I'm not exaggerating when I say he bolted. The way he ran had me staring at the screen like, excuse me? It was instinctive, immediate, no hesitation, straight into bodyguard mode. And the reason it looks so ridiculous is because this isn't new behavior. He's done this over and over again. Anytime things get even slightly real, he disappears behind security like they're a human shield. At this point, I'm genuinely wondering how his security team isn't listed as an emergency exit, because that's exactly how he uses them. People started dragging him hard for it too. The internet noticed the pattern. So instead of just talking about it, I'm going to show an actual compilation so you can see it for yourself. How often he pulls this same move. The tough guy act lasts right up until someone actually presses him, and then suddenly it's a track meet straight to the nearest bodyguard. After watching all of that, it honestly makes perfect sense why the second he's on his own, people start pressing him. The switch up is immediate. One moment he's loud and untouchable, and the next, once there's no security in sight, everything changes. You can literally see how fast the energy flips. The gas station clip is the clearest example. The moment people realize Jack Doherty is by himself, it's like a green light goes on. Suddenly, he's not being laughed at or filmed from a distance anymore. People start approaching him aggressively, like trying to catch him slipping has turned into a sport. And that's really the consequence of the persona he's built. When someone spends months provoking strangers, disrespecting people for content, and hiding behind security every time things get real, eventually the public stops seeing them as a joke and starts seeing them as a target. So when he's solo, there's no buffer, no human shield, and no intimidation factor. Just the same guy who's been poking the bear, now standing alone.
See, bro, what you gonna do about it, bitch? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Yeah, you think of the Island Boys, bro. You a bitch. You a bitch, bro. Hop in your whip. You ain't gonna do shit.
Get back in your car, boy. No security is crazy, too. I can really take this from you right now and you wouldn't do anything about it.
Then Natalie Reynolds came forward with her own claims, and this is where things took a much more serious turn. She alleged that Jack Doherty pressured very young creators into joining adult content platforms, and said that once she stopped making him money, he tried to get her social media account taken down. From her perspective, the situation wasn't really about a personal relationship anymore. It felt more like a business arrangement focused on profit and control. She went further by sharing posts online that quickly gained traction. Natalie claimed that Jack allegedly took advantage of a young creator by waiting for the moment it became legally acceptable, then placing her in a high-pressure environment involving alcohol and pushing her to sign a contract. Jack denied these allegations, but by that point, the discussion had already spread far beyond his usual audience. Even people unfamiliar with him were suddenly asking, "What's going on here?" Once claims like this reach social media, denials rarely stop the conversation. They usually amplify it. And just when it seemed like the controversy couldn't escalate further, the McLaren crash happened. The widely discussed $200,000 incident. Jack was live streaming while driving driving in the rain, focusing more on entertaining his chat than paying attention to the road. The outcome was predictable. He crashed the vehicle badly enough that his cameraman was injured. That moment became the final straw for Kick, which immediately banned him without warnings or second chances. It's one of those clips that's genuinely uncomfortable to watch. You're not reacting with anger, just disbelief at how careless the situation was. And moments like that explain why so many people started looking at the bigger picture and reassessing everything surrounding him.
Oh! Oh! No! 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 Holy sh... Holy Oh, Michael. Are you okay? Holy...
People were starting to notice a pattern. Wherever Jack Doherty goes, chaos seems to follow. And then came what might be one of his wildest live stream moments yet, the CPS incident. Jack was streaming like it was any normal night. Loud, chaotic, doing his usual antics, when suddenly a CPS agent showed up at his door, along with 2 cops. The agent told him that a report had been filed that required her to check in. Jack just stared at her in disbelief. He didn't have a child. She explained that his name was on the report, so legally she had to speak with him before closing the case. Jack stepped off camera for a moment, and the live stream chat absolutely exploded. Viewers didn't know whether to be shocked, confused, or entertained. Nothing like this had happened before on his streams. It was chaos unfolding in real time, and people were glued to the screen trying to figure out what was really going on.
Yeah. But like, what's this about? I'm so confused.
She'll explain everything to you. She just can't explain it with
confidential.
other people not involved.
Basically, that's the only thing. You're a baby daddy? You have a kid?
Now, people are split on what actually happened. Some believe the CPS call was real, while others think Jack staged the whole thing just to grab attention. With his history, it's honestly hard to know what to believe anymore. But there's one thing almost everyone can agree on. If the CPS call was real, that's a very serious matter. And if it wasn't real, then either someone was trying to push Jack over the edge, or Jack himself was just making sure the internet had something to talk about again. The timing couldn't have been worse either. With the legal charges he's facing right now, people keep mentioning that possible 7-year sentence. Whether he actually ends up dealing with that is something only time will tell. But let's be real, plenty of people have been waiting for him to finally face consequences. Either way, I'll be right here keeping you updated. The second anything new drops, we're diving straight into it, no waiting.